What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Run Pure Sports NBA Hardwood Show. I'm your host, Mangone. I'm here with Titletown. I'm here with AP. Titletown, we'll kick it off with you first. How's it going over there?
It's going well. We got a nice Wednesday slate, 9-gamer, closing out the year for NBA, going to the playoffs. We'll be grinding it all. I'll be playing every slate. A lot of people at RPS will. Yesterday was a great night. We had our boy Cesar Martinez win the $5 single entry, $1 single entry. A couple other members did really well. So another great night yesterday. Got some MLB and NBA lock-in today. It's a good time to be a sports fan.
Yep, lots of awesome stuff going on. We got AP here. He's working on the playbook a lot of days. He works on tons of stuff for the NBA stuff over at Run Pure. Also was on the golf show and working on the golf playbook as well. So we had a golf show yesterday that he was on with Uncle T and Hoops. So AP is here hanging out, talking hoops with us today. How's it going, AP?
Hey, it's going good, guys. We got a good slate tonight, too. Right now, these slates are pretty transparent. We can find the best plays. I like them because in tournaments, what guys are going to be chalky and you know where to pivot. Just know that it's going to be risky. Like if you faded DeLon Wright yesterday, you were absolute dust. So you just got to be prepared to, be in last place or be battling with the chalk for first place.
That's a really good point. Like Caesar's lineup yesterday was perfect for that. I mean, because he did Durant, Giannis, LaMelo, all those guys were chalky. Then he had the one pivot. He used the ESO play. Darius Bazley 4%. He had Diallo 20%. ESO, yeah. But it shows you can play chalk in NBA at a lot of spots. He had multiple guys over 50%. The one difference, a 4% play, 20%, mix in a couple pivots. And you're in the winner's circle. You don't need to play all 5% guys in NBA. I think some people try and get too cute, and that's a mistake. So sometimes you got to play the best plays like DeLon Wright.
Yeah, and DeLon Wright was one yesterday. He was like the guy that I was like early in the day. I was like, maybe his role is not like starting, right? And then of course Luke Walton said, "Oh, he's starting and everything." And he's still he talked about him today. I saw some more stuff on it. He's like, "This is our guy now going forward at the end." So good to see that for DeLon. He's definitely going to be one of these plug and play guys, I think, going forward. But I love this time of year because again, you can just make some small pivots, right? And that's what you got to look for. And sometimes looking for maybe just getting off of the path of what the build is. So we'll have to see. We'll break it all down, and it changes right throughout basically now until 7. That can easily change with news, right? We just got news that Wendell Carter is out, so that's obviously a nice big bump for Bamba, right? That's someone. I mean, I wasn't going to really play this 7 o'clock game or even the 7:30 game too much, but now obviously it's coming into play more. We're waiting on the Pacers news as well, coming up at 5:30. So again, that news is going to be super important. Before we dive into everything, we got a couple things to mention. We are going to be giving out, I believe we're giving out an $88 ticket from the kid. If you guys don't know, and I guess this is the right time for Simon to pull up the members never win segment, because hey, we had a member yesterday who got staked in the $1,500 contest. And he absolutely crushed it. Got $3,500 back, right? And that's awesome because again, he didn't even put the $1,500 in, right? So he gets that back in the account, which is awesome for him. Saw that Meadows homer hit for him yesterday, the second shot, and I was like, man, that was a huge little boost there for him. So happy to see the kid hit that, and he's giving back. So he gave an $88 ticket to NBA and MLB. So we'll be sweating that out, I'm sure, in the Discord chat. And then he's also giving out a free membership to one new person. So later on in the show, AP is going to give a Discord member out. Title, if you can be on the lookout. Whenever you type in the chat, right, just post that you're a new member, right? Just say, hey, I'm a new member. And say why you want to become a member. And Title will pick someone out, or I'll pick someone throughout the show. I'll make it your job, Title. But if you can't find something, I'll look as well. And check all that out. Also, please hit that like, hit that subscribe on the video. It helps us out a ton. We got 240 watching. We're at 60 likes. We want to get that moving and give you all of the best NBA winners we can. And if you want all the best NBA winners, you want AP's playbook, you want his core plays, you want Titletown's core plays, he's on the cash chart a bunch for FanDuel. I believe Hoop's doing DK today. I'm on the MLB cash chart. If you want all that content over here at Run Pure Sports, use the code RPSHeater25. When you use that code, you get access to the site for 25% off. Also, you can use the code GetBets to get on the bet side as well. That's definitely, we do a bet show over there on the Run Pure Bets channel. It's definitely worth it. Big T always talks about it. He says, hey, it's $80, just the extra 20 is worth it. Using the code GetBets, you get that free $20. So you have to get into the bet side as well and check out that product. So think I hit on everything for the most part. And then throughout the show, we'll, give away some stuff, have a good time, and pick out those winners. So let's dive in and pick out those winners. AP, I'm going to go to you first. Give me your slate overview. Again, I don't think you worked on the playbook today, but I know you are pretty good at looking at the overview of the entire slate. So dial it in for us. Give us your slate overview.
Yeah, I mean, JSU does the playbook on Wednesdays and Thursdays, gives me some time off. But I've been working on this heat map, and so I got a good idea of how the slate is looking. We got a ton of really elite plays at this 8 o'clock game slot, and that's kind of where I'm looking, except for with this Wendell Carter news, it shakes things up a little bit. So I'm excited to dive in and get this all figured out with you guys.
Yeah, and we had a chatter. He says AP looks mad. AP's not mad. He's dealing with allergies, but he's back.
Allergies. Oh, allergies are so brutal right now. I'm trying to keep my eyes open, man. They're all red and itchy, and I promise you I'm not high, nothing like that. Not against it. I just, I don't partake, but I kind of wish I was right now. I mean, I'd probably be feeling a lot better, to be honest.
You wish you were with G Risen, smelling all those products, and with Big T from all the stuff he got from Denver. So, but AP's battling through it. I can feel you. I typically deal with it. So don't worry. He's here and he's picking out those winners for us. Ready to go. Title, it seems like it's going to be a chalkier slate, but I don't know. You never know what's going to happen on these slates. Like the Bucks opened at 7. I think it was +7 or -7 the Bucks were, and now it's at -3.5. I assume some Bucks news is going to come here. Give me your quick slate overview, and then we'll dive into it.
Yeah, I mean, you never know with the Bucks. They could always sit Giannis on a back-to-back. I mean, we always talk about it. April, May DFS, you're going to get injury news like yesterday, Kyle Lowry. We didn't expect Kyle Lowry to sit. Then turns out he does sit. Friend VanVleet's a great play, stuff like that. There's always going to be merit to backloading for unexpected news. Who knows what the Bucks do? But yeah, the slate right now, I mean, there's good studs. There's Russell Westbrook on the slate, which he's been in a tier of his own. There's Jokic. There's a lot of like DeLon Wrights, KJ Martins that are very good value in the spots today. So I do think ownership's pretty concentrated like yesterday. Just got to find those couple pivots, play the good chalk, try and fade the bad ones. We'll talk through it. We got GPP player, cash players here. It'll be a good show.
All right. Well, listen, let's dive in and talk about it. And again, I kind of mentioned it already once. I said, hey, I thought I was going to fade this first game, but it's getting a little tougher. They don't have many bodies here. Let's talk about the Magic side. Mo Bamba is a guy that's going to probably be chalkier, but the problem is Mo Bamba isn't a guy that just out of nowhere will play 40 minutes, right? Some of these centers that will play that, it's great. Against Detroit, yes, he played 28 minutes and he's a great producer and he put up 46 fantasy points. So you don't need those 40 minutes. I'll go to you, AP. How are you handling this Magic situation? You got Mo Bamba, you got a Mo Wagner revenge game. So there you go. It's his first one back against the team he just had a cup of coffee at. And you have a lot of different guys, I think, that you can get some exposure to here against a Celtics team that you're not that scared of.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that the Celtics should be able to take care of the Magic here fairly easy. And, real quick on the Celtics side, you got to wonder, assuming they can take care of this Magic team, which they should be able to, you wonder, are they going to just feed Evan Fournier, get him right? His shot finally fell last game. Still relatively cheap. Outside of 2 games with Boston, he's been pretty bad. So you wonder if it's just, a nice little get right spot for him. That's why I have a little bit of interest. But I can't pay $10K for Tatum, when we have Giannis on the slate, when we have Westbrook, Sabonis, just, Jokic. I can't play Tatum in an early game at $10K in a matchup where this game could easily get out of hand. I'm just not going to go there. But I do have interest in Mo Bamba. You got interest, in Time Lord, Bob Williams on the other side. I don't, there's so many other good spots. I don't want this Wendell Carter Jr. news to I don't want to overreact to it if that makes sense. I don't want to start locking in, Mo Wagner, Mo Bamba, all these different guys and wasting roster spots when we have so many elite spots later on in the slate too. So it's really, for me, it's going to come down to roster construction. Hopefully I get it figured out before the slate locks. If I don't, I think I'm just going to be fine with limiting exposure or fading this first game. It might be crazy, or the other move I might play with is lock in Mo Bamba and then move on. But undecided at this time.
Yeah, I mean, I do think Bamba's like the best, like, point per dollar guy and producer that you can find here. They are getting short on bodies. And when you're getting short on bodies, especially this time of year, you see guys that we don't really know much about pop up. And this guy played 32 minutes the other day. He does not look like he's probably really that good at basketball, but I'm not going to judge. He had 23.25 fantasy points, a power forward for 3K. I looked at the pronunciation. It's Ignas Brazdakis. So, Title, I'll go to you. Can we take a shot on him? Again, they're low on bodies, right? I want to see exactly how many they have and what they're going to do. And Bama can't play 40 minutes. So they are going to have to fill out this 4 and 5 spot. You can even see Wagner slide over to the 5, and then someone's going to slide to the 4. Now, I don't know who it's going to be, but there's opportunity here for some of these guys. And I don't want to overreact. Again, the Kings value good is really good later on, but there is some opportunity here for some Magic players.
Yeah, I just don't think today's the right slate. I mean, maybe he gets 30 minutes again. He's fine at 3% or whatever, but I'd rather target and pivot to a good basketball player that I know is going to have a pretty steady role instead of someone like this. So it's not going to be for me. As far as Mo Bamba, though, he still is 5.3K. He's not in the 4K range where he usually was when Wendell Carter was out. We've seen even with Carter out, Mo Bamba still only played like 22 minutes some games. They don't want to, I don't know. He just doesn't want to run him out for 30 plus minutes, it seems. So Time Lord at 5.4K might even be a better play for me than Mo Bamba at 5.3K without Tristan Thompson. But like you said, it's the first game. It locks on an island. There's still other news that we're probably going to be wanting. Malcolm Brogdon. So unexpected news, Giannis maybe. I don't want to lock too much into this game. If I do, it's going to be one of the centers on DraftKings. On FanDuel, you can make a case for a Marcus Smart or Mo Wagner at a point guard and shooting guard position. But again, it's not going to be pieces I plug in right away. If I fall on those pieces, I'm fine with it. But it's a game I'm not going to have too much exposure to. Locks right away, just backload.
Yeah, and we got K Falik talking some charts. He says this Ignis guy is good. I asked him, what's he good at? Like, I want to know, but
you know who the play is. It's and he's been crushing, and I can't believe I overlooked him. RJ Hampton. He's just been an absolute baller. I would much rather play Hampton over this other guy.
Oh, yeah. So that's a guy I did want to talk about, right? So shooting guard eligible, which I love. I think FanDuel, he's point guard eligible, which is a little frustrating. Again, if he was shooting guard eligible, I'd be more excited. But I've been looking at Hampton probably since that trade. I was like, okay, they're going to unleash him at some point. And I was trying to figure out when the time would come because this is a guy that they looked at and they were going to draft him, right? So when you're going to draft someone and then you go out and trade him, and again, they weren't going out there and actively shopping these guys, like trying to pick up RJ Hampton. But I think it just kind of was like, hey, like this is a guy we did like, and they want to see what they can get with him. He's been pretty solid. So I don't mind the RJ Hampton call. It's just the matchup, right? Could he see a lot of Marcus Smart? That could obviously be an issue. And Hampton, he has not been starting, correct? I don't think so. And
comes off the bench.
And the thing I like about that, you might see, I think we just already got the lineup, but the thing I liked about that is I thought maybe Hampton could start, but he's not going to. But the reason why I was thinking that was because he's played with Bamba a lot. So maybe they want to keep them together. I thought that could be a possibility. But again, you want to keep him and Cole Anthony staggered, I think, for the most part, which, again, good for RJ Hampton. I like that call. Title, is he a point guard or did they move him to shooting guard yet on FanDuel?
RJ Hampton is a point guard. 5.7K too. It's not. What about, so you're talking about these punts on the Magic. I see people in chat talking about Nesmith. I mean, I'm not going to probably go there today on this slate, 3.2K, but there's no question Brad Stevens does like Nesmith a lot. He hustles. He's a good shooter for DraftKings. He's really cheap. His minutes aren't the most stable. Sometimes you'll see 20. If he's playing well, you'll see 30. How would you rank the three? Hampton, I mean, point per dollar, Hampton, K. Falik's boy that I don't need, Ignas. I'm just going to call him Ignas, and then Naismith. How would you rank those?
At first, I was thinking, are we back on the PGA show or what? Talking about Naismith?
No, the shooter, Aaron Naismith, the forward, small forward on Boston. Yeah. What do you think? That's your squad, man. Going. I mean, I've watched him play. He's solid. Brad Stevens definitely likes him.
Yeah, they're giving him more run. I don't think it's like the correct slate for him. So we just got some news that we should probably mention. Middleton's doubtful, so that's also going to like affect now like Giannis and he's probable. We'll talk about it when we get there, but I want to see.
You don't need Neesmith and all those guys. There's better spots.
Yeah, I think a lot of these guys, it's like even like a Hampton definitely has an interesting ceiling, but I do feel like it's like there's better spots. I believe DeLon Wright is still shooting guard eligible too. Like that would be like the one reason I would consider playing him is because shooting guard eligibility is sometimes really nice to have for some players that you can't get access to. But I don't know. Overall, I think you can mess with Bama's probably my number one in this game. I'd say probably Hampton's my number two. And like, I know Cole Anthony might pop in some projections here and there, but there's also opportunity cost of the position. And I feel like you're getting a lot of opportunity costs for a guy like Cole Anthony at 7K. It's just like there are better values. There are better spend ups. I just don't think I want to go there. AP, any final thoughts here on some of these Celtics and Magic value plays?
Yeah, I think if you want to get different in tournaments, it's RJ Hampton. He's been coming in real quick off the bench, like sometimes 3-4 minutes into the first and third quarter. He's already getting in, plays the entire throughout the whole quarter, and like finished the game last time. So he's getting starter like run. So I wouldn't be scared off from the fact that he is coming off the bench.
Yeah, you're making good points there. And like at this time of year, I love guys that they're safe if the game is close and they're safe if it's like a blowout, right? Like, which it seems like Hampton could be in that kind of role where even the blowout might be better for him because he can get like just 6 minutes of just by himself. And if he gets hot, they'll just chuck it up. Let's move on over to the next game. We got Portland and Cleveland. And again, another game I do not really love here. I mean, listen, Okoro is getting more opportunity to handle the ball because there's no one left. I know he's not the same title, but, at the start of the year, he was just this guy that runs up and down the court and exercises, doesn't do much. But, hey, he's getting some more opportunities, 4.3K. Any interest in him against this Portland team that's playing a little bit of better defense nowadays?
Yeah, it's definitely not the same Okoro that got me 3 points in 44 minutes, but it's still not an Okoro that I'm going to play today on this slate. There's other spots I'd rather go. Like, if you want to go anywhere in this game for me, it would be full punting to a Dean Wade or Dotson or someone like that, just because it'll open up. I mean, there's so many stars we already talked about. It can open up the double spend, maybe even triple spend if you can get it, but it's not a game outside of Dean Wade, Dotson. That's 3.4K, 3.1K that I'm going to go to. Jetty Osman at 5.5K on FanDuel at small forward would be the one that I have interest on FanDuel, but just not a game that you really need. And then you make a 7:00 Eastern lock time, an 8:00 one, and you give yourself some time for news. I mean, Middleton downgraded to doubtful and stuff. We could see other teams do something similar. So not a game I'll have much of. If anything, it's value.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I want to do. I want to really do my best to turn it into an 8:00 slate, but again, I might have to play a Magic guy here or there. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying this game mainly, like I don't know if I'm locking myself into anyone in this one.
No, I agree 100%. Definitely not. Probably like one of the most least appealing games on the slate for sure. AP, I'll go over to you. Cleveland, are we moving on from this game, just heading over to the 8:00 games?
Yeah, I mean, my only comment will be, Dame, he kind of has that swagger back right now. And I mean, he's put up some nice numbers, but they're healthy. A matchup against the Cavs. I mean, if it stays close, you can make the argument, but they've been playing good and they've actually blown out some teams lately. So I don't think that they're going to pull what the Suns pulled and overlook this team. I do think that's what happened with the Suns game there, which is why that game went to OT, which is why all those guys crushed. It's why CP3 crushed in that game. I don't see that happening here. Blazers take care of them. I think we fade this game. We feel very good about it. And we move on to the better spots in the slate.
All right, we'll march on. Let's march on to the next game, the Kings and the Pacers, a game that I really want to talk about. Lots to like here. So, like, just to give you like a peek of like my thought on the slate, like I originally was gonna jam Westbrook, jam Giannis, and then I was like, or maybe not Giannis, it was like Sabonis, and then maybe like LeVert as well, right? It was basically thinking, how can I get 3 studs in there and then figure it out? And then as I started building, I said, well, I'm leaving off Wright, I'm leaving off Bagley, right? And those are strong plays on the Kings. You're missing out on Kings options if you jam in all the studs, which I typically like to do. And I don't know if I can do that. So basically a big decision point on this slate is how many studs can you get in there and how many Kings are you willing to play? Because the Kings are just simply too cheap, right? A week from now, if the Kings play the Pacers, DeLon Wright will not be 5'6". Marvin Bagley will not be 5'4". They would be a lot of a heftier price tag. Even Rashawn Holmes, he'd probably be at that 7'3" range at least. Only guy who seems pretty decently priced is Buddy Hield, but he still has been crushing it. So, Tato, I'll go to you. I have Wright as my number 1 and then Bagley as my number 2. What about you? How are you handling all of these Kings here?
Yeah, I'd rank them Wright 1, Bagley 2 on DraftKings, and I'd go Wright 1, Terrence Davis 2 on FanDuel, where he's still 3.8. I still like Terrence Davis on DraftKings, though, at 4.4K. The Kings they're in such a good spot. Like you said, their prices just aren't caught up to the spot they're in with the injuries. So give me Bagley, give me Wright. I still like Rashawn Holmes. I know he had a bad game yesterday, but I like going right back to him against the Pacers. Front court really only has Sabonis. I like picking on them. Buddy Hield, like you said, is the one that's priced pretty right. 7.3 on FanDuel, 7.7 on DraftKings. But I think he's the one that gets overlooked the most and comes in at really, really low, not really, really low ownership, but maybe 12%, 14% with a team that's going to be a lot more chalky. Buddy Hield shooting the ball really well too. So if he gets hot, he has 50+ point upside. I like him in tournaments. I like the other Kings guys, the Terrence Davis, Bagleys, DeLon Wrights, Holmes more in cash games. And going to this Pacers side, I know we are waiting on news a little bit with Brogdon. That's the biggest news we're waiting on right now. LeVert and McConnell would become a little better plays, but if he's in, I don't think I go too many places. Like I'd rather go Giannis 100%, Giannis Westbrook over than I would Sabonis now, especially with no Middleton. So I'm not even going to say, I don't even know if I can get to Sabonis on this slate. Kings side for sure.
Yeah, I will say even so, like, man, this is tough now because with Sabonis, I was saying basically if all these guys are out again, I think Sabonis, and this was before all the news that just hit with the Bucks, I thought Sabonis was a better play than Giannis if all those same guys are out. And the problem here now is, again, we have no Middleton, which is really big for Giannis here, which is quite frustrating because I think Sabonis could be a really good tournament play if all those guys are out because I still think people might side with Giannis over Sabonis. And Sabonis against the Kings could absolutely smash. We did have an interesting question in the chat from Gav Fitz, and I want to get AP's thoughts on it. He said, any concern of the minutes for Bagley on the back-to-back after the injury, which, I mean, I have some slight concerns. Walton basically said about the last game, he went over the minutes limit that he had for Bagley, which doesn't surprise me. I wouldn't even be shocked if Walton did it again today because they just don't have anyone to play. So, AP, what are you doing with Bagley? We talk about like trying to find some chalkier options maybe to get off of and just make some slight pivots. And Bagley could be that slight pivot. I know he can crush though. If he plays even 25 minutes, he could absolutely smash for 40 fantasy points. So what are you doing with Bagley and all these Kings?
Yeah, I mean, it's just an elite spot. That's something we're going to have to keep an eye on, which is why, I mean, one thing that you could do, that's where you could like, mainly on DraftKings, go Mo Bamba, same price range, or Mo Wagner over a guy like Bagley, probably going to get potentially more minutes there. But I do got to say, with this Pacers game, they are playing at such a fast pace. We joked about the 245 over under against the Wizards. Absolutely smashed that. We saw 122 possessions on the Indiana side. The other thing, I just looked it up right now, Kings still playing at a fast pace too. We're going to get a crazy fast pace here. I think Sabonis is just as good of a play as Giannis. Now, Drew being out definitely does impact that too, because now the ball is just going to be in Giannis's hands even more. I say play both of them if you can. And the guy you fade is Westbrook. And we'll get to that game, and I'll explain why you fade him over those other two guys. But Sabonis, I think that is the move in tournaments because everyone's going to be so locked on Russ. Everyone's going to be so locked on Giannis and for right reasons. But I think this game is going to be fantastic in all formats. DeLon Wright, absolute lock for me. Bagley, if he's getting 30 minutes again, we saw a floor game out of him last night. He's not in this matchup. He's going to put up way more. But you could also go Rashawn Holmes too. Rashawn Holmes probably is going to fly under the radar on the slate because of the likes of Time Lord, Mo Bamba, and other center spots on the slate. I think Rashawn Holmes might be the play. The environment's going to be there. Tons of rebounds, tons of putbacks. I am definitely stacking this game up.
Yep, I love this spot for Holmes. And AP, I mean, we're breaking the rule. Never fade Westbrook. The dude just prints every time. But I'll
explain what I'm seeing. But I'm with you. It's a tough fade for sure.
I have one route. I explained it in the Discord chat, right? I explained the one route that I think I could see myself like fading Westbrook at a time, like at least at this time of year. And the one route I saw was like, if we have those slates where like the Bulls don't have their point guards and there's like a 3K point guard and like, he's going to ball handle and like you have like two of those spots and it's like, okay, I don't have guard spots and I need to set up for those raw points. And like, you could maybe that's the case you're making. And I'm curious to hear which guys are making the case for.
Yeah. So one thing the Bucks are good at, and I bet, Tidal could probably elaborate on this too, but they're good at limiting peripheral stats on opposing teams. They're good at limiting rebounds. Go look at Russ's last 3 games that he's played against the Bucks. I think he's had over 10 rebounds just once. He had 5 rebounds and I think like 7 or 8. I don't think he's getting 20 rebounds against this team. I don't think he's getting 15. I think he's going to, he'll probably get 10 because he just crashes the boards like crazy. But case could be made to fade him. If you're relying on raw score, beefing up the raw scoring from him up against Drew Holiday, I would rather side with like Sabonis, who's been an absolute monster of late.
All right. Tidal, what do you think of AP's explanation on that? Agree or disagree?
I'm just in the boat of I'm not fading Westbrook at this point of DFS. More so, it's not even the matchup really. It's a 245 total. I like the matchup in the point of the pace. I don't like it where like individual Drew Holiday one-on-one, but there's a lot of pick and rolls. The thing like with Russ and the rebounds is just he crashes the boards like I've never seen anyone crash the boards. He goes and gets his rebounds where I still think he'll just keep doing what he's doing in a high-paced game. But the thing is, it's a tournament like pivot. Sabonis, we know the ceiling he has. Westbrook's definitely going to have double, triple the ownership as Sabonis. So you can't say it's a bad pivot when we've seen the ceilings. I'm Westbrook. He's done very well for us. He's in his own tier for me. So I'm just going to eat the chalk and move on. But I hear what he's saying.
No, yeah, for sure. I want to hear it, and I want to debate it. And I think it hinges on some stuff that AP said, like has to go his way. And I get it. I'm with him too. So he might not be. Don't think he isn't. Check out his core plays, and then you'll find out. Get in the Discord chat. Sign up for Run Pure Sports. Use the code RPSHeater25 to get 25% off your first payment, and then you can find out exactly how he's approaching the slate. So we'll definitely discuss
if we play Ignis Brazzers or whatever they call them, can we just call them Brazzers? If we play enough of those guys, can we play all 3?
You probably could, to be honest.
You're getting like 70, 70, and 70.
Then you're fading the Kings.
Monster number.
You can't do that because you lose Bagley and Wright. So if you only spend for one of those guys, it's going to get tougher, right? Like, so that's one of the keys in it. You can definitely do it. It's possible, but it's not the easiest. I think if you plug in all 3, which I'll just do it right now, just to tell the people again, you can do this on your screen. It's not like I'm doing anything I'm not supposed to. So you plug in all these guys, 3.5K for your last 5 spots. So it gets tough. So yeah, you might have to dive in and grab some free brazers there. AP. So there we go. I think we talked about we're on the Kings. We talked about the Kings for the most part. Obviously, if we get news, we'll circle back on the Pacer side a little bit more, but we'll like a lot of those guys there. Let's move on. Let's talk about the Grizzlies and the Timberwolves. Before we do that, guys, please hit that like, hit that subscribe on the video. It helps us out a ton. We're lacking on likes, it looks like, on my screen, unless I'm having the Big T issue from earlier, which I'm going to refresh and see if that's the reason. I got AP laughing in the background here. Yeah, we got the likes up a little.
That keeps happening to me too. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Just look.
So we'll get those likes up. Again, we'll do our best to give you this free content. We're going to keep delivering that for you. So hit those up. But let's go talk about this game again. I think it's one we'll go quick through. But Memphis and the Timberwolves, again, a pretty high total, right? 238.5 total. You'd think we'd want to get some exposure to this game. It's a close spread as well. I'll go to you, AP. Are you getting any exposure to these guys in this game?
It's so tough today. God, both teams are so deep. Okay, so you can make a case for a guy like Anthony Edwards because the usage is just there. But it has taken a hit because they're trying to get D'Lo 30 to 33 minutes off the bench. So it comes down to matchup for me. I hate this matchup. You need the absolute right game script, which is high offensive efficiency, which I don't think we're going to get here. And so I'm going to fade this game. If I randomly, like if I was multi-entering and I randomly landed on Edwards or Russell to get different, I'm okay with that.
All right. We'll go over to you, Title. Again, not a game I don't think you're going to play too much of, but yeah, anything to tell the people here?
I think some of these guys are okay on FanDuel, like Grayson Allen's all the way down at 3.6K. His role's a little bigger. John Morant's 7K. I think those guys are fine, like as a point guard two, shooting guard two type stuff. But Kyle Anderson, maybe if I had to land on anyone, it's definitely not someone I'm going to plug in any of these guys right away in my lineups. If I come down to the last few pieces, it's a big total. The prices are solid. So kind of how I'm approaching it. I mean, we like the Kings game so good. We have so many other studs we like. We have the mid tier already. There's some other better value. It's one of those games that just falls under the radar, and it's not going to get ownership, but it's not going to get ownership from me.
Yep, no doubt. Definitely don't want to be going to this game. There's other games I think that are way better on this slate. Let's go to another game that's not the best, but we'll knock it out quick, right? Hawks and Suns. I was on the bet show, and I actually still like the Hawks at -1. I get it. The fatigue I'm a little worried about. I know the Hawks have been playing better, but the Hawks struggled against some really good teams, and the Suns are playing for something, right? So I put that in as a bet on the bet show today as my best bet of the day. AP, do you like that bet? And do you like anyone here in DFS?
So like, if you're like, I was just looking at Chris Paul, and man, like he went off. And I mean, that game went to OT. But like, if I hop on Chris Paul right now, he's gonna put up like 27 for me. So I don't think I need to go there on this slate. You know, like I don't. You know, I mean, if you got a ton of cheese and money doesn't matter and you want to take the risk, then yeah, go play Chris Paul. I don't think I'll get there on this slate. I think we have many other better spots. So I'm good with the bet. I think the Hawks could steal one here, but I think I'm fading this game.
If I am playing anyone in this game, I'm not saying I'm stacking it, but I'm probably getting exposure, like more than one piece, I think, probably to the game. So I'm expecting it to go a little crazy then. But I don't know, Title. I'm not touching this game. It won't be on I'm not on the cash chart, but if I was on the cash chart or if I was on core plays, would not be playing anyone here. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, Chris Paul, like AP was saying, I'm not going to chase it and do that. He's been so good this year, though. I mean, he'd be the guy that has probably made a lot of people some cheese at 1%, 2%. In the most random spots this year, he just puts up that 60 burger or whatever. But I'm not going to do it. If I did anyone in this game, it would be like a Torrey Craig. If you wanted to go 3 stars and 3.5K left, campaign is 3.3K, plays about 20 minutes. So it's a game that I'm not going to have really any of. Torrey Craig's the best play just on FanDuel. Chris Paul tournament, 7.5K on DraftKings if you want to chase it, but I won't be doing that.
Yeah, I'm with you. Not really chasing this game too much. I do want to mention we have our podcast over here at Run Pure Sports. You can check it out on Spotify, iTunes, all the places. Be sure to check that out. It gives the MLB first look right now, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. So check that out and give that a 5-star review. Also, tweet us on our Instagram and post your screenshots on the IG story and tag us. And we will repost it. Use the hashtag #MembersNeverWin. We had Bash7Bro4 get 2K in MLB yesterday, and the kid 1982 with the 3,500 win in the staking. So be sure to do all of that. Again, we love to see it. We love to see you guys succeed, and we want to do our best to help you guys out. Let's move on over.
Hold on. What side were you on in that game? Did you bet? Because someone in chat thinks you were on the other side. What side did you bet in that game?
I'm on the Suns -1.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
You said Hawks.
I said Hawks. Yeah.
No,
I misspoke.
No, Mango said Hawks too. It wasn't you.
Oh, did I? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My bad. No.
Yeah. Someone in chat said you thought you were on the Suns, and because I was going to say I don't agree with that side. I wouldn't bet against the Suns right now. So you're on Suns.
Yeah. I'm not betting against the Suns. My bad.
Wasn't that the craziest cover against the Cavs in overtime? 16 points they covered.
I think the Hawks steal one here, though. So that's interesting.
I mean,
I get the Sun side, but
I get why you think it. My thing is that I just think the Hawks they beat up some bad teams. I don't think they're as I think they're decent, but I do think the Suns. I think this line should be like 3.5 or 4 or 4.5.
I was surprised to see it at 1-2.
I think I got value. So this feels like the Knicks. This feels like the Knicks like a week or so ago, whenever that was. I think it was 2 weeks ago. When yes, the Knicks were competitive. They played really well. It was a good game. But what the Suns ended up doing, they closed the game out strong and got it done. So, but I think it'll be a fun one if you're a fan of basketball. It's probably a good game to watch. But
I mean,
we'll see.
Man, go. Have you seen the lineup though? I mean, and who's back? I would be worried if I was you. The GOAT Tony Snell's back tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you always have to be worried about Tony
Snell. +1 all day, baby. Let's go.
He's part of the 50-100 club. It's a hostile takeover. Tony Snell, watch out. He is the GOAT. But I think the Suns will be okay. Chris Paul will get the job done. Let's move on over. Let's talk about a game that's really good. And again, we've talked about it a little bit. We've teased it, but let's really dive in and talk about the Wizards and the Bucks. One of the games of the night as well, 243 total. And title, I'm going to go to you. We'll save AP for last here. Let's talk about Russell Westbrook. Make the case why you should not fade him, because someone's making the case that we should fade him. So I want to hear the case why we should not fade him.
I don't even think there needs to be a case for that side. I think we only need to hear the other side. Go look at the game logs. Go watch Russell Westbrook. Go do anything. I mean, he's really in the tier of his own this year and in the last couple months in DFS. He's playing all the minutes in the world. They need to win games, so they're playing them in all close games. The Wizards have been a very good team where I think they're going to be competitive against Milwaukee, especially without Middleton. The game should only be closer. Highest over-under on the slate. Yeah, it's Russell Westbrook at the end of the day. I'm going to play him, and I'm going to move on. I'll feel good about it. If he gets me 55, I don't love 55, but at this point, that feels like his floor. Obviously, it's not his floor, but I'm playing him.
Yeah, Eugene's in the chat. He says Trae Young will go off tonight. Now, I mean, Eugene, let's talk here. You're telling me Mikal Bridges is not going to box him up all game? I mean, he's going to make it difficult, and they have a lot of guys there. Like AP said, the lineup's loaded. I think Trae's going to yield more than you think, but if you think he goes off, you better play some Trae Young in your lineups. Don't be that guy. You better load up on Trae then, because I don't think it's going to happen, but we shall see. AP, let's hear it. Again, I think it's more of a roster construction thing, but let's get the breakdown. What are you doing with Russell Westbrook?
Yeah, it's definitely a roster construction thing. And, I do got to look at the guard position as well, because we do have some decent plays, obviously, in the front court and in the center positions. But just looking at those three together, I do think that you can make a case with Russ. Like the Bucks have so much like length and size, and they're so athletic that I do think I don't think that he's going to get easy buckets in the paint, and I don't think that he's going to be racking up the assists like we saw. I do think the Bucks are going to limit those type of plays. It's just how they play defense. They're decent in transition, and so I do think that's a risk. I think you're going to need a higher raw scoring game out of Russ to get there, and I think the path is easier for Sabonis. I think the path is easier now for Giannis as well. And I'm a Russ guy. He's been killing it lately. I've been tweeting about him. And so I'm with you guys. But I think in the tournaments, and I haven't been on Beal at all. But I think if there was ever a spot where we needed like a big 40-point scoring type of night from Beal, plus some peripherals, maybe some steals and blocks, this would be the night. Otherwise, I don't think the Wizards are going to hang with them. So the back-to-back helps out a ton. Russ has been a beast. I do have him third between, and I could definitely regret that because I don't see like in cash. If I was playing a head-to-head, I'm not fading him. He's just, too easy of a play. But in tournaments, if the Bucks can limit those peripheral stats and make it hard on him, I do think I have an edge with Sabonis and Giannis.
Yeah, so I think this is my issue. I feel like you don't have enough guards to get you there because, so point guard, right? Point guard, you have a point guard, you have a guard, and a utility, right? You have three chances to roster Westbrook. My problem is there's some good guards, like a DeLon Wright. You can just slide in the shooting guard. I think if DeLon Wright was point guard eligible only, it would make the case a little better for you. And like if RJ Hampton was only point guard eligible, and then let's say both went for 40. Now that would close that gap between what Westbrook would need to do. And I think that's my issue. I feel like that shooting guard spot being eligible for those guys hurts your case a little bit. Does this also hinge on Brogdon being out and all those other guys?
Yeah. Because I'm looking at, so we've seen it now time and time again. Goga and these other guys are all questionable, then they get ruled out. So I'm kind of working under the assumption that hopefully we get some news. But if we don't, here's the great thing about these 8 o'clock games. If Brogdon plays, like if we don't get that news, I could easily pivot to a Russ lineup and feel good about it. So like that's where it's going to be tricky with my core plays tonight. I want to post them in a fashion to where I'll put that decision kind of on the user who's using it, and I'm not going to like force them to go either way. So like if you're using my core, we're spinning up tonight. I'm not fading Giannis. I'm not fading one of these other guys. I think their upside is too big. So
yeah, and Zach in the chat. I mean, this is the one thing. I mean, Zach, I get it, right? He says, Wright's not gonna get 4 steals and 4 blocks again. Okay, let's say Wright got 0 steals and 0 blocks and had the same exact game. Zach, we're gonna say that. Well, let's do the math. It's 2, right? This is not on FanDuel as well. So 2 times 8 is 16, right? Minus by the 55. I'm pretty sure you're still happy with that performance, right?
As this guy's seen the Pacers play defense right now, they're not playing defense at all. I mean, the Wizards got buckets. Like they could not stop them at all. Yes. Like it was ridiculous. So, I mean, the Pacers are like the worst outside of like the Thunder right now. They're probably the worst defensive team in the league.
If you're not playing DeLon Wright because of the 8 stocks he got, just find me. I'm happy to play you. I will load up DeLon Wright in my lineups. I don't think that was the reason. This is his team now. He is running the show. So, I get it. It doesn't make sense that DeLon Wright has the keys to a team, but he does. So, and that's what they're going with. That's just what the coach told you. And he's clearly showing that with the minutes. So, Title, let's talk about some more about this game. We talked about Westbrook, and he deserved to hear it. So is Bradley Beal in play at 9.5? I know there was a time where you were on the Bradley Beal train. And again, I think he's a decent tournament pivot, but I don't think you need to do it on this slate. And I think you're in agreement. And then we have Rui, right? Rui, I believe, is missing this game. And with Rui not in there, are there any other values that are kind of opening up here in this front court?
Yeah, so on the Wizards side, I'm not going to go Beal today. I'm going to go Westbrook, so I'm not going to play them both on this slate. I love Giannis. Just not going to get there, but I definitely understand it. As far as other Wizards value, I like Bertans at 3.6K. It's going to be a very up and down game. Milwaukee always struggles at the 3-point line. Westbrook, their best player who has the ball in his hands the most, is an assist first guy. So he looks for Bertans out there. He always chucks it. That price tag is very good. I like him on DraftKings. I'm not going to get him on FanDuel at 4.3K at power forward when you can only play 2. So like him a lot at DK though. As far as the Wizards outside of Westbrook and Bertans, I don't have too much interest for them. I do like the Bucks side a lot though. Obviously Giannis, he's my favorite play on the slate, my top spend. I probably do even prefer him a little over Westbrook now with no Middleton, but they're clearly my top 2. I'm going to try and get them in every lineup. But outside of them, I like Pat Connaughton at 3.2K, DiVincenzo at 4.6K. They've really been giving Bryn Forbes a lot more run lately. He played 26 minutes yesterday. He spreads the floor really well. He's finding the pick and roll. He comes off as a shooter. They hide him on defense a little bit. So I like Forbes for that price tag. And then Drew Holiday. I don't know if he gets forgotten. I feel like on this slate at point guard, he will. He is point guard and shooting guard eligible too, but 8K on DraftKings, 7.8 on FanDuel. Of course, he's going to get up for this matchup against Russ. People in chat were asking like, oh, Drew Holiday's on Russ. Like, should we fade Russ and all this stuff? Drew Holiday is a great defender, but you don't fade like with the NBA nowadays, the pick and roll, how much they get switches, the staggered minutes and all that. I don't fade anyone for an individual matchup like that. We just saw what Kyrie did to Drew yesterday too. I mean, good O is going to be good D. Westbrook gets all the peripheral stats. So I did want to mention that, but I like the Bucks side a lot more than the Wizard side. Bertans, Westbrook, then Giannis, Drew Holiday, DiVincenzo, Pat Connaughton, Forbes. The Bucks side's very good. This game's good. It's a 245 total.
Yeah, I love this spot for DiVincenzo. I think he's a really strong option at that 4.6 tag. I think he should be like the 5.5K range or more. I do have one question for you, Title, and then we'll go to AP. I know it's not the exact salary, but like if I told you Ben Simmons at 7.2 on FanDuel or Drew at 7.8, which guy would you put in your lines? Drew. Okay. Drew.
Ben Simmons can't. I know he's on the cash chart. The thing is like that's a logical question. Very fair. But then there's something back in my head. We watch enough basketball. I just can't click that Ben Simmons name over Drew with this news. Before the news, I would have told you Ben Simmons and it would have sucked. But without Middleton, I'm
asking you the question, Title, because I know it's a question that has to be asked. Now I know my answer is not playing. I'm not playing Simmons. I'm just not. I remember I looked at teams and I was like, he keeps fitting the last spot. I'll find a way to tinker it later. I just will. But I know it's a question that people will be asking. Like, I know it. So that's why I want to get it out there. AP, I'm going to go to you. I want to talk to you about these Bucks, right? You obviously love Giannis here in this spot. I love DiVincenzo. I know you've been pretty good with Bobby Portis. Who are some of the guys that you're looking at here?
Yeah, I mean, it's Giannis and Middleton now too. I mean, the pace is going to be good. I mean,
Drew's in, Middleton's out.
Oh, okay. So Drew, okay. Yeah, Drew and Giannis. For sure, those two guys, but mainly it's just Giannis. So when I'm thinking about roster construction, the main guy I'm focused on is Giannis. He's going to demand all the usage. He's going to, hog all the fantasy points as well. I want to make him a priority, and then I have a few other priorities that we already talked about, in that other game. And then if some of these other pieces fit in, they fit in. But I'm making Giannis the priority.
All right. Yep. I do agree. Making Giannis the priority is a good idea on this slate. Again, lots of guys to prioritize though. Love this game. I do think Brook Lopez could be in a decent spot. I don't even talk about him too much, but we do know the Wizards do love to pair up centers all the time. They always like to put them in there. And hey, that means they can use Brook Lopez's size and kind of fits this game environment decent. 4.8K, and it's a little Lopez on Lopez action. I believe Robin's still in there, right? He's not hurt. So, hey, that could be interesting. The brother narrative could be in play. That'll wrap up that game, though. I think we touched on that pretty well. Let's move on and talk about the 76ers and the Rockets. And I don't want to touch any of the 76ers. I'm pretty much out on them, but the Rockets are shorthanded. We have to look at some of these guys. I think KJ Martin is in play. I do think even at that terrible price tag of 7.5, Olynyk is in play. I don't know what exactly to do with him, and I think there's way better options. I even think Kevin Porter on FanDuel, interesting play, but he's going to see Ben Simmons' defense. So, Taito, we'll go to you. How are you handling these Rocket value plays?
KJ Martin's the best play in this game for sure. I love him on both sides. He's going to be popular though, so I'll let AP talk about whether getting different in tournaments is right or not. Cash games, I'm playing them. Like you said, Kevin Porter, I do like him on both sides, but I prefer him on FanDuel at 6.9K, where he does have to play, or you do have to roster two small forwards. I don't love picking on this 76ers team. Matisse Thybulle's a defense. I mean, he's a monster on defense. Simmons plays good defense, and B's long down low. We talk about how we don't like picking on this team much, but the prices are fine. So Martin's the best play. Porter, Olynyk on DraftKings, like you said, 7.5K. I do think you can give Embiid problems, having him forcing Embiid to step out, guard the three ball. Olynyk can get some open looks. So I think that 7.5 price tag is pretty good in tournaments. As far as the Philly side, like Embiid's in play on FanDuel at 9.6K because center is just all right. If the game stays close, Embiid's going to absolutely eat. But I mean, if it's a blowout, I don't expect him to play. So he is a little more risky. I don't think I probably get there with other spend ups, but he is in play on FanDuel.
Yeah, we just got some injury news updates. Nothing big. Norman Powell's questionable. I see people in the chat all saying, could Giannis sit? So they already announced him as probable. So I doubt it. Don't worry about him sitting. If he does sit, it's going to be very random. And then again, it's the NBA. Could it happen? Sure, but it's probably not going to happen. But AP, I'll go over to you. How are you handling KJ Martin in tournaments? I think he's a really interesting play, but you can always make a case for opportunity cost. He's not 3K anymore. He is 3.9. He still doesn't have to do a ton, but what are you doing here? Because you like a lot of these forwards, and Martin is a forward here.
Yeah, I mean, he's just going to get, they don't have enough bodies. The problem is I really respect Philly on defense, kind of like the Knicks. I respect them. And it's not even just how good of a defensive team they are. They play at a slow pace too. So they're not really pushing things. And so if we get a real sloppy game, I think it could be kind of tough on some of these guys. But, DeCon Jeffries is so cheap. Avery Bratt, all these guys are just super cheap. I don't think you can just full fade them. KJ Martin is obviously going to be, 70%, 60, 70% for a reason. He's 3.9 and he's going to play 35, 36, maybe 37 minutes. So I think you plug him in, you build around it, and you see kind of what you get to. But make sure that you aren't paying up for one of these guys, at the cost of a Westbrook or a Giannis or a Sabonis, So that's how I'm playing this. It's just, I'm not playing any of the Philly side. I don't think the game stays close. Rockets, they don't have bodies, so we got to plug in some of these guys.
All right, that'll wrap it up for that game. Let's move on to the next one. Before we do, guys, please hit that like, hit that subscribe on the video. Helps us out a ton. Use that code RPS Heater 25 to get 25% off your first payment. Check out all the content we have over at Run Pure Sports. We got the PGA content, we got the playbook, the core plays, all this stuff that you guys need to get in on with golf locking tomorrow. Also, we got the final countdown with JSU and Holding coming up around 6:15. So we got to get this thing moving. Let's talk about the Knicks. Let's talk about the Nuggets. I'll go over to you, Title. Are you spending on Jokic today? Is he the move? Are you mixing some of these other guys? I see Shaq Harrison can obviously be a 3K starter that we're going to have to look at, and he's guard and forward eligible on DK. So break it down for me. How are you handling this game?
Yeah, I mean, if Shaq Harrison starts, min price 3K, point guard and small forward eligible. You always like the guard and forward eligibility. So I definitely would have interest in him. Austin Rivers, 3.4K. Campazzo 4.6K, Jermichael Green 3.2K. All those guys are in play. If you like we talk about, if you really want, if just say you want Jokic or you want Sabonis with Westbrook and Giannis, there is a route to do it today with all the value we've said. I think all those guys are in play. Barton's out, PJ Dozier's out, Monte Morris is out. That's why all those guards do get boosts. Jokic, I'm probably not going to get there today. I mean, I know I'm not going to get there. But 10.7K against the Knicks, they do play slower. That's the reason I'm not going to get there. But we know what Jokic can do. He's going to be low owned in this matchup just because of the slate. I mean, you can always make a case for low owned Jokic. Michael Porter on FanDuel, 7.7K. I like that price tag at a position that isn't great. He's been playing really good basketball as of late. So this Denver side's really good. I'm not going to have anyone on this Knicks side, but they have a lot of value at the guard position with Rivers, Shaq Harrison, Campazzo, and then Jermichael Green, if you want some in the front court. Definitely get some interest in Denver.
All right, AP, we'll go to you. Is it Austin Rivers revenge night? I mean, he's on this slate and he's kind of in play. What are you doing with Austin Rivers and some of these other cheap value plays along with Jokic?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's kind of easy for me. I love those spots we talked about. I'm prioritizing those spots, but if I land on like a pump value from here, then sure. If that gets me, the path that I want, then I'm definitely down to go that route. I will say Jokic is going to have all the usage tonight. Tough matchup, slow pace, and that Tibbs is going to just swarm Jokic. But man, if you wanted a nice little pivot, late hammer, he'd be your guy. The usage is going to be insane. Should play a ton of minutes tonight as well, and the offense is going to flow through him. Him and MPJ.
All right. Let's move on. Let's talk about the next game. Let's talk about the Spurs and the Jazz. And I don't think there's that much to talk about here, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm missing something. Title, I'll head on over to you. I think this is a good fade. What are you doing with this game?
The game is better on FanDuel. Clarkson, Ingles, Bogdanovich. If you need them at the position, Ingles and Bogdanovich are small forward eligible. Clarkson, shooting guard. I'm fine with any of them if you land there. Other than that, though, that's just because of mainly the position eligibility, the prices. They do have some injuries with Mitchell and stuff. So that's it. DraftKings, it's a pretty easy fade.
Yeah, Richie said in the chat, any love for Julius? I just think it's the wrong slate for Julius Randle. So
I'm not playing.
I don't think I would mess with him on this slate. There's a lot better spots.
Yep, definitely agree. And then while AP's talking about the game, I know we're wrapping it up. Everyone put in chat, if you're not a member, say not a member, and then I'll pick someone and we'll give it out toward the end, but start dropping them.
All right. AP, talk about this next game. What are you doing here with this one?
I thought the slate was over, man. We got one game left. What's that? The Spurs and Jazz?
I mean, wait. We can make it over if you want. I mean, this is
so the one Bojan Bogdanovich, he's running point right now. He's still under 7K. Good matchup. If you land on him at a small forward type position, I like it. But still, like they pounded the Spurs. The last time they matched up with them, they still have a ton of bodies. They still have a pretty deep rotation, even though they're down Mitchell and they're down Conley. And so it's Bojan or I'm moving off. I'm not playing Yang. Royce O'Neal's fine, but he doesn't have a ton of upside. Clarkson's priced appropriately. I'm not playing Gobert at almost 9K. So it's basically the one guy I could see myself maybe playing in tournaments is Bojan.
All right. Yeah, I agree with Title. He said Clarkson. Clarkson was one guy on FanDuel for sure. You got to look at a little bit. The Jazz are definitely better over there. So yeah, that makes some sense. But that'll wrap it up for us, Title. So you're going to pick the new member in the chat. So let's give it a little more time. AP, do you have the Discord member? I feel like you had them ready to go. If you don't, then we can go over to the Title. Do you have the Discord member for the $88 ticket? Just 2 8s, not 3 8s.
Yeah, he's a guy. He always is bringing good mojo. Doesn't type a lot, but anytime he does in Discord, it's always positive. He's been a member since inception of all of this, and so he's been a longtime supporter. It's my boy, Mr. Hardwood. I don't know if he's watching right now, but we'll tag him in chat in Discord to make sure that he knows he is eligible for that ticket.
All right, AP, tag him, tag the kid in the same chat, and then explain what's going on there. And that way the kid can DM him as well and get that all taken care of. Hopefully we can get it for tonight's slate. If not, of course, he can maybe do tomorrow, but let's try to get it in today so we can get that done. Title, so we're looking for a new member here. I'll admit I haven't done a good job in the chat keeping track of that. So
I've been keeping track.
You got someone for us, Title? I knew I could count on you. Who do we got? What do you want to do here? Who's the winner?
Yeah. Lots of people, lots of non-members watching for free. And we absolutely appreciate that. We love our members, non-members, as long as the good mojo, you hitting the like button. Only can pick one of you guys. And this guy's had good mojo throughout the whole show, commenting. I see him in here a lot. And that's Jeremy Douglas. So Jeremy Douglas, we appreciate all the good mojo. Everyone else too. I mean, hopefully you're a member one day, or we love having you hang out in here. Jeremy Douglas, hit up info@Rumpier Sports, you in Discord. You let them know what to do.
Yeah, we got to get him in contact with the kids. So try to get in contact with us. We'll get it going. We might not be able to get it like right this second. Maybe we got to get the cores updated and all this stuff, but we'll definitely get it done. So hit up
Rumpier Sports on Twitter, right? And then we'll figure it out.
We'll get it all hooked up for you and get it going. By the time we go tomorrow for the show, we'll make sure you get it in there. We want to get you for that free month and keep you around and get you in that Discord chat and sweating it up with us. So be sure to get in that. Hit us up there. Let's do our plays of the day real quick. And then we got to get on out of here for Simon. He wants us to get out of here because we got to get out here for JSU and Holden for the final countdown show. If you want to listen to them, use the code RPSHeater25. Sign up now and get 25% off to be able to check them out. My play of the day, I'm going to go quick here. Dante DiVincenzo. I think he's a really good shooting guard option. I don't know if he became chalk. If he did, I'm sorry, but there's a lot of plays on this slate, so I think we're good. Dante DiVincenzo. Love him in this spot. Love him in that total. Title, we'll go over to you. Give me your play of the day.
Yeah, I'm not sure ownership, like you said. I doubt it's going to be a Baisley 4%er, but we like the studs. You guys know the studs I like. A cheapie, give me Bertans at 3.6K against the Bucks. Bucks struggle at the 3-point line. Westbrook with Drew all over him. He's always just his first guy. I think Bertans 3.6K has a monster ceiling in the spot.
All right, Bertans there. Dan in the chat says, Title, you've grown on me. And then he goes, great work. Mango, we still need some time. You know what, Dan? I might not want you in my corner. You know what? When I win $1 million, I don't want you jumping on. So get on now. Don't wait, because we got golf million makers coming up that we're going to be shipping. AP, I'll go over to you. Give me your play of the day.
Yeah, it's going to be Sabonis. I think, and I think I'm going to play him no matter how the news breaks. I just think matchup is so phenomenal, so good. He's been playing so good. Sabonis is the guy. My play of the night.
All right, Sabonis is.
And he's projected to be what, sub 5% right now? Is that correct?
Yeah,
I'm probably a little more, but it's not going to be a lot with Westbrook and Giannis, I don't think. So that's definitely a good play.
It's all news dependent, right? So if Brogdon's out, it'll go up. If not, it's gonna change. So we'll have to see exactly where it goes to. But it's okay, AP. I mean, you talked about obviously the strategy and stuff, and if you want to know AP strategy more, get in that Discord chat. We're breaking it down. We got like 30 minutes in between all those games, and some of them are dusty where we can really chop it up and help get you into the winner circle. That'll wrap it up for us, guys.
Well, hold on. Last thing for the people are wondering, AP, you rank them. You said, are you playing them with Giannis or Westbrook? Giannis, right? You have Giannis over Westbrook?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry.
Well, that'll wrap it up for us, guys. Thanks a lot for joining us. For me, Mango, Title Town, and AP. See you later.
Good luck, everybody.